Hello, my name is Alexa. I'm actually one of the strangers behind the camera of The Stranger Social. Today I just wanted to discuss the topic of social media and screen time. This topic has been weighing heavy on my mind for the past few months. People are just so glued to their phones nowadays, and it's crazy to see everywhere. I know this has been going on for a long time, but it's just more evident now more than ever. People having dinner together in restaurants, people going for walks and just keeping their eyes glued on their screens. Everywhere you look, people are just on their phones. It's crazy to me, like how much time we spend on our phones, and I'm also a part of that, or was a part of that. I just recently got off of my social media, and I intend to keep it that way. We will be discussing this topic with strangers. It's going to be a very vulnerable, touchy topic, but hopefully people open up to us and share their experience and how they feel about social media. And it's really just to spread awareness, like what are we doing with our time, guys? This is a conversation that needs to be had. So thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing. It has been very helpful for us, and yeah, let's do this. Do you use social media?
So currently I'm inactive, but occasionally I do check just in case, like whether it's like a family member that's trying to reach out, or clients or somebody who might be trying to do business.
And what platforms do you use?
Primarily Instagram and Facebook.
So you said you take breaks though? Like you're
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What's the reason behind that?
A big part of me taking breaks is I personally think it's just a lot healthier to not be so absorbed by social media. Exactly how my buddy was talking about. I think it's important to realize that a lot of times in social media people are just promoting the best version of themselves, or just kind of seeing like their representative, right? It's not who they actually are as people. And I think if those platforms were a lot more open and everybody was being realistic about who they actually were, then maybe it would be a healthier place. But I feel like that's why we see so much division, because everyone is very extreme in their beliefs on these platforms because they're hiding behind a mask. So that's the biggest thing. I just stay away from that because like I become way too absorbed. I know how I am.
Right, right.
So rather stay away from it if I can.
That's awesome. And lastly for you would just be your screen time.
Yeah. I am on my phone a lot, mainly for work.
But mainly work, you said?
About 3 hours of
Mind
that.
if I click?
Yeah, go ahead. You'll see YouTube, a lot of Discord, Reddit.
No Instagram, no Facebook. Do you use social media?
Yes.
What platforms are you on?
The most I use, I think I'm on all of them: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yes.
Okay.
I have a Snapchat account. I don't use it. I don't use Twitter. I have TikTok. I'm barely on it. The most I use is Instagram.
Okay.
Facebook is to keep up with family.
How do you feel about social media, and I guess more for you, Instagram?
It's very time consuming. You get sucked into like a black hole, and TikTok's really easy to get sucked into that black hole. Instagram, not so much. Instagram is based on what I like, so eventually after scrolling for a few, I'm kind of bored of the same thing, so I just get off.
Okay. Do you feel like Instagram affects your mental health? Do you find yourself like comparing yourself to others, or are you just on it to have fun and then when you're done, you're done?
Both. I'm on it for fun. When I'm done, I'm done. There are times that I get things shown to me, like the advertising and stuff, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could dress like that or something like that. And but I don't find myself trying to fit in with it. I tend to follow a lot of affirmation pages, mental health pages, so I am very good at like quickly taking myself out of that mindset of like, oh, I want to be like that, and then I'm like, wait, nope, that's not me.
Would you be okay with sharing your screen time with us, like your average?
Sure.
Instagram, how much does it say? 12 hours a week. Do those numbers concern you at all, or you're just like, whatever?
12 hours a week? I don't think so, because I think the 12 hours is more like I literally open it, 5 minutes, off. But it's probably me doing that like every hour or every other hour.
Okay.
I'm not like spending a whole hour just...
Right,
So
right.
I don't think I'm that concerned. Maybe more on the frequency, on how often I'm doing those little check-ins, is what I would probably be wanting to know more. How often I'm spending, like just quickly opening it and then taking it, getting out of it.
Do you use social media?
Absolutely.
What platforms are you on?
Instagram mainly. I deleted TikTok. I have a Facebook because everybody does. And I think, does Hinge count as social media?
We're dating.
No.
So I wouldn't count that really.
Yeah, that's basically it.
How do you feel about social media? How do you feel about Instagram?
My personal opinion, which is different from everybody's, is that I need it because I am an artist. So I need the exposure, I need the content engagement from followers to boost my career. Aside, if I wasn't an artist, I would hate it. But I have to love it because it's my job.
Why would you hate it?
Because the more you're on it, the more you compare yourself to anybody and everybody. A lot of the images you see are romanticized lives of people, and I think a lot of people have prejudice towards anything they see, and it can distract you from like your objectives and your real goals and your true vision of how you actually see things. We're just so easily manipulated.
I know you're on there for your business, but how has it affected you just musically?
I think the biggest thing was that on TikTok, which I deleted, and Instagram, I would get a lot of accounts that about, so I'm transmasculine. I would get a lot of accounts of like trans men or transmasculine queer people, and I would constantly compare myself to them. And it did send me into a pit of sadness because some people were further along in their transition or seem way happier in their skin than I would ever be. And that comparison almost makes you feel hopeless at times. So I had to restructure my Instagram. But yeah, I've definitely had personal social experiences where I didn't feel as good enough for myself, or attractive enough, or as white enough, or as tall enough, or as skinny enough, because of all of the things you see online. So I unfollowed everybody.
Are you comfortable with sharing your screen time?
Yeah, absolutely. I can show you. Oh, look. We're 36% down from last week.
Wow,
so I started this job this week, so that's 5 hours. It's
Wow.
a lot this week. That's not that bad. It's like an hour almost a day.
Yeah.
I'm
A
really
little
proud of
less.
myself.
Do you use social media?
Every day.
How do you feel about social media?
How do I feel? It's a loaded question because I love baking. I like sharing different recipes. So there's so many blessings that you have, but it is overwhelmingly negative, which I think everyone can relate to if you spend more than 2 seconds on any platform, whether it's Facebook and arguing with family members on there, extended family members, neighbors.
You can be a nobody and then become a somebody. You can get your word out, and hopefully it's more positive than negative. You know, like she said, she loves cooking.
Well, she said more negative than positive. Why do you feel it's more negative than positive?
Well, I guess the two of us probably spend time because of our careers on social media. So we get to see all the criticism and people behind their keyboards. And of course, it's always people that don't put their names and their own pictures to identify themselves and have accountability. But there is a little bit of lawless nature, like things that you can say on social media you can't say to somebody's face without that being targeted harassment. I will say, I had an incident recently and Twitter did come through and fortunately made sure that that person was a little more careful with their phrasing and targeted very specific criticism that, you know, you can say, oh, this person sucks or this person isn't any good or like, I don't like the way they look. But when you're getting into the nitty gritty, extremely detailed things, like that's when it becomes over the line. Like we're on social media, we understand there's like a little bit of criticism that's gonna come with anything. It's just people, you're not gonna get people like absolutely every single thing every time. But when it gets nitpicky, extremely personal, that's when we need to start thinking about, okay, what's going on here? I will say that so many blessings have come in my life, sharing ideas, and there is so much good, but yikes, I would not want to be a teenager or...
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, I think it's tough to be younger and like they live their lives on social media. I mean, at the same time, like I said, on the positive, like it's a tool, right? So, and like we're both in entertainment, so it's actually something that we have to do, right? It's not something we do because we're vain or we want pictures of ourselves. It's like a requirement of our job, and it adds a whole other layer to what your responsibilities are, and it can get overwhelming. You know, you're like worried about what people think, or like how many likes you have, or
how to stay relevant.
Yeah, and all of those things, and that can be stressful for someone in entertainment or a high schooler that like counts on the amount of people like that follow them or like them or whatever it is. So
social media affected your guys' mental health in any way?
Yeah, I tend to not be shy. So there will be things that I put out there that aren't really controversial, but I think in today's context, like, again, you sign up for, if you're going to post something, somebody somewhere is not going to like it. But so there have been times where I'm like, oh wow, that people, you know, you only have so many characters, or people don't know the full story behind something, even though you try to explain yourselves. And it's just, to me, more than anything, people are so, like, they see your life on social media, they think, well, oh, you're going to this place, or you're doing that, and like your life, that really kills me is the amount of people who say, oh, well, you have all these great things going, you can't have anything wrong in your life. We're not posting extremely...
Yeah, nobody posts the bad, right? They only post the good. So like, it's like at the end of the day, you're home alone without your like filtered picture, right?
The reality, to be fair, I'm not posting stuff. I mean, I love being as transparent as you can be, but I'm not posting about things that are going on in my family or certain situations or issues that have happened in my life, because some of it other people don't want out there. So even though I'm comfortable sharing it, I need to be mindful of the people around me, and their privacy levels are different than mine. I live more of my life on social media, but I think that is the biggest gripe I have right now, is that people just assume everything's fine and dandy. And I always like to remind people, like, look at what you're posting. Are you airing out all your dirty laundry? And it's not to say, oh, we only post our good stuff. In my opinion, it's like we're mindful of the people around us, which is why we have the restrictions that we do. But I really would like people to reflect on, hey, we're all battling something you can't see, and there's no quantifying, like, well, I lost a parent, so my life's worse, or like, hey, no, I'm struggling with getting pregnant, so like my life, like there's an argument of like, who has the bigger problems these days? And social media is definitely playing a role into how that works out.
Lastly, are you guys vulnerable enough to share your screen time, your average screen time?
Ooh, I'm excited and scared. I'm excited and scared to tell you how much time I spend on my phone.
What's yours?
Wait, are we going for...
One, two, three. I have mine turned off.
You do?
So you're 8 hours.
Is that pretty average, or is that a lot?
We've seen a lot more. But how do you feel about your time? Are you shocked? Are you...
No, I mean, like, obviously, I'm not spending 8 hours on Instagram. I'm emailing people. I work from my phone too, so like, obviously, yeah.
Okay, so do you use social media?
Probably not as much as people my age usually do.
What platforms are you on?
Instagram.
Instagram?
Yeah.
Why don't you use it that much?
I feel like it takes away too much of my productive time. And then when I was on it, I was seeing too many things of how people live their life, and if my life didn't match that lifestyle, it's just like, it put me in a vibe that I didn't need to put myself in. So it's just like, for what?
Have you like deactivated it, or is it just there?
No, I definitely did a lot of filtering of followers, like who I would follow. I don't follow nowhere near as much people. And it's literally just for like my local friends and stuff like that, keep up, because I'm usually from Mass. So it's just to keep tabs on people from Massachusetts.
Oh, okay, I'm like...
And and then other than that.
So it started playing with your mental health, like I'm comparing my life to you guys, and it's starting to make me feel a little...
Or like couples, you know, like, oh, we're all so couple goals, and then deep down, as soon as the screen's off, they're actually in a miserable time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
wow.
It's like it's not reality.
Would you mind showing us your screen time, like how much time you spend on your phone?
Sure. Some of it might be from my side, just so you know.
Okay.
How much time do you think, if you had your screen time on, how much time do you think it would
So
save?
I work night shift, so that's when work is like it's not as busy. So that's when I'm like on a lot, but I don't know, maybe at work during the day I don't, but at work I'll probably maybe like 2 hours, 2-3 hours maybe, but not like in one sitting. It'll be like
On and off.
Yeah.
Do you use social media?
Every day.
What social media are you on?
I have Facebook and Instagram.
How do you feel about social media?
I think there's positives and negatives, just like every other thing in life. You know, it's a great way to connect with friends that don't live close, and it can also cause lots of, you know, emotional issues comparing yourself to other people and stuff like that. So, just like everything, good and bad.
Do you find more enjoyment in social media versus the part that you don't enjoy, such as comparing your lives to others?
I think I check myself and know when I need a break from it. So I don't let myself get to that really negative point. But Instagram almost feels like a little like scrapbook of my life too. I post like the happy things, and I get to go back and look back at happy memories and people, like spending time with my friends and family and stuff like that too. So I think maybe it outweighs it if you know how to use it properly.
When you take breaks, how often do you how long do you take a break for?
I guess it varies. Sometimes a couple of days, sometimes a couple of weeks. Just depends on how distraught I am over comparing myself to other people and where they are in life. So,
would you recommend social media to somebody who's never had it before?
I guess it just depends on how they plan on using it.
Screen time.
It varies day to day. Obviously, on the weekends, probably more often. But I want to say it's probably between 5 and 6 hours a day. I can show you. I was right. I feel like that's not that bad. Down 24% from last week. I'm making myself feel better. Give me a second.
Pat on the back, pat on the back.
Yeah.